Hi.
Hi, and welcome to Musicians Hangout with your hosts, Crush and Maxine Maxwell.
Hey everybody, happy Wednesday. Oh my gosh, I'm fangirling out tonight because we are all female drummers. And we're hanging out with our girl, Jen Yates from Kentucky.
What's
oh my
up? How are y'all doing?
Oh, me too.
Oh wow. So I'll go over our mission.
I love that you're
Good,
fangirling already.
One of my favorite female drummers.
Already.
We got all night, girl.
Right. So yeah, I'll go over our mission statement, and then we're going to ask you all sorts of questions about your journey since we've met last time. So we'll get to it. All right. So Musicians Hangout mission statement is to be part of a revolution to create friendships with other artists and build a community network to save music. Hey, Gloria. Thanks for joining us.
Also another female drummer.
Oh,
yay!
Awesome.
We got
Hi, Jen. Gloria.
We need to blow this up online. Get all the girl drummers up in here.
Oh yeah, get all these girls in here. Badass. Yes. So Jen, we had you on the show back in March, and you have so much to tell us and catch us up with. So
do I?
I guess in a nutshell, tell some of our new viewers who you are and what you do, and then let's have some story time with you.
Yeah.
That's deep. That's a deep question. My name is Jen Yates, born and bred in Kentucky. Been drumming, my dad had put me on behind a drum set when I was 2. And I am now 43 years old. Been drumming that entire time. Last year, about this time, I found out that I had a major spinal cord injury that I had suffered in 2018. And in December of 2020, right after Thanksgiving, they put a metal cage in my neck. That's when I met you all. Yeah. And you can barely see the scar now. I was, I was down for a long time. I was really worried I wasn't going to drum again, but I had to keep a positive attitude and just keep believing that, that I would get through that. But when they caught that, they told me I was 5% away from full body paralysis, neck down. And he used the word Christopher Reeves, and it scared the crap out of me. He said, you're probably going to be confined to a wheelchair your rest of your life and not able to move anything from the neck down. So he said, you cannot get in a car. My surgeon, he put very strict rules on me. So last Thanksgiving, I holed myself up in my house, terrified, and didn't leave my bedroom, not even to wash my laundry because it was downstairs in the basement. And Nick Payne, who will be our special guest joining us later on, my musical duo partner in the Kentucky Beatnik, made me Thanksgiving and brought it to me. And as soon as Thanksgiving was over, I was in a hospital getting my neck cut open in a very serious surgery. So this will be almost 11 months, going into 11 months, almost 12 now, almost a full year. I still cannot feel my middle finger. Hey, thank you, Patricia. Another female drummer in the house right there. Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, we got the
warrior girlfriend, warrior.
I love that we have all of us female drummers tonight. That's awesome.
Yeah, right?
Me too. I love my social media peeps. I think that our social media peeps in the female drumming community is amazing. I really love all of them.
Hands down, agree. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad.
And including you all.
Aw, you too, girl.
Love fest. Yeah, so in a nutshell, that's what's going on. I've only played a couple games back. Say it again.
I've gotten rudiments that ladies have written for students that I have. They posted, on our Drummer United, Female Drummers United.
Yeah.
And, so I have them on my phone, and I, try to.
The rudiments, the chart.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can geek out and talk. I'm super theory. I was learning my 5-stroke roll in about 1980. All right. So that's how long I've been playing a 5-stroke roll, you know,
Oh yeah.
and then teaching for the past 15. By the way, shout out. I think wasn't it yesterday? It was National Drumming Day.
It was,
Yeah.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, but yeah, the rudiments, you know, every time I get a new student, I always go back to those. And all the pros that I've studied under that were way better than me, that taught me things over the years, always go back to the basics of the rudiments and the paradiddles and the sticking
Yeah.
and the rhythm and the counting and the, you know, limb independence when you're talking about drum set, you know, and all that stuff. But, you know, I mean, think about I'm a big fan of Dorothea Taylor. You all, that chick is crazy, amazing. Oh, right. She's we calling her the grandmama of drumming, you know, she's out there rocking it out. She's on my Facebook. I fangirl out over her. She don't even know it, but I fangirl out over her. And I watch her stuff, and you know, she's still just rocking them rudiments. You know what I'm saying? And think about how long she's been doing it. I've only been doing it for 40 years, you know. Think about how long she's been doing it.
Only 40 years.
60, 70, 80 years, you know, just holy crap. And you're still going to be playing those same things, you know, after a while. So, it's crazy. I do think about the rudiments are very foundational. And I feel like it does separate, you know, the amateurs from the greats.
Right. So, our fan Troy Anderson he says, cool hat. What kind is it?
You know, I don't even know. Nick Payne got me this for my birthday.
Look at this hat. It looks like a German hat.
That's a sweet hat, though.
Yeah, right? I mean, let me see what it says on the inside. Oh, it says Stetson.
Ooh, fancy.
Stetson. We're bougie over here, honey.
You are.
My goodness. I was like, I love to write songs. Thanks for that question, Troy.
Patricia's been playing ever since the late 60s.
That is amazing, Patricia. What is the I want to ask her questions, right? I want to ask her questions. You know, I'm used to being the interviewer.
Oh, yeah, you are. We get that.
Yeah, for a long time I had my own radio show. I've had my own radio show I did radio for almost 25 years with a couple little bouts and stints in TV. But most of my time was radio production and working for multiple radio stations. And that's what really brought me to Louisville from a small town. And I mean, I was reading obituaries in the small town. They do that in the small towns. They don't do that in the big city. You'd be doing it all day, you know. But I had some weirdo radio jobs there for a minute. But I did run a Christian radio station on AM, and I would have to go you know, the bluegrass duo live and make sure that their levels were correct on the radio and interview them. And then later on, I had a couple little radio shows. And then as of last year, I had one on LRS here, which is the oldest rock station in Louisville, Kentucky, since '64. So yeah, it was called Generation Nation, where I interviewed musicians and artists and asked them why they wrote the songs they did. You know, basically interviewed people. So anyway, I love to ask questions, and I'm like, Patricia, she's been playing since the '60s. I wanted to know like what was like the first groove she ever learned. You know, see if she'll type that in. Patricia, if you're watching, I want to know what's the first groove you ever learned on drum set.
That's awesome.
I like her. She's really interesting.
Well, and I get what you mean by being used to being the one interviewing others, because we feel that way on other shows. So when we're
she said, "You are."
I know. I'm almost here. Over here.
Quite a few years ago.
Thank you, Patricia. That is sweet. We shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond for you.
Well, what was her claim? Well, what was her claim to fame?
I know. Now I want to know. Right. What's your claim to fame, Patricia? I want to know.
Yeah.
What could be something crazy like she was in a commercial or something?
Tell us. We could have you on the show.
Yeah, we need her on the show. It's like we need just a big old forum of female drummers.
Yeah. That'd be
You need a
awesome.
female drummer.
Let's
Give the
invite
lady drummer some nights.
Sharon
be cool.
Ransom.
We were talking about that just
Yep.
not too long ago.
Yes, we were.
We were actually talking about.
That's really cool. Good, nice question so far, though. I love that.
Oh yeah.
Oh, she's answering our group
Oh
question.
my gosh, everything was easy for 4 beats.
Oh, that's cool.
To start rock and roll. That is true. It still holds true today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. Love the rock and roll.
4/4 baby.
Mm-hmm.
I just love the art of teaching music. I was talking to Gloria Weiss earlier today in a drum lesson about, I forget what her questions were, but just how awesome it is to be a teacher and to be 15 years in. I know people have taught for a lot longer than me, but I'm just honored to have gotten to teach all that time and taught all the kids that I have. So now that, when I did suffer this injury, I could lay back on the internet and then watch all my kids playing all these amazing gigs and, and be able to keep in touch with them via social media. And it's amazing. I had a kid this year that I taught years ago, just for about a year. This kid came in to take lessons, and I knew the kid was amazing from the moment he sat down on the kit to kind of just, do an assessment.
Yeah.
And he is in a band called White Reaper now, and he just got picked up. He did Lollapalooza. It's him and his brother's like rock band, and then he just got picked up to tour with Pearl Jam.
Dude.
Yeah. Yeah, and they played the Kentucky State Fair this year. They're in their 20s now. I had them when they were young teenagers.
Oh, that's
but
cool.
just to sit back and see little things like that, I didn't teach him everything, but I'm sure I gave him a little bit of something. You know what I mean? That he's probably still carrying with him today because my music teachers did the same thing to me.
Oh yeah.
Well,
And
not
I
only
still love
did you teach him something, but you inspired him to go further.
Right, 100%. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what I love about teaching. You just give them the tools, and you sit back and watch, and just some of them rocket ship straight up, and it's just amazing.
Oh, he's always gonna remember you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not in a school where I have to follow a strict curriculum. I get I have, through my own experimentation of private teaching, come up with my own methods, and
that's cool.
And know that they work. Eventually, I would love to. I've got a bucket list of things I want to finish before I die, but of course, one of them being my book.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen. I just found an editor. That's gonna happen. Okay, so. And the solo record I've just been working, but life gets busy and stuff gets hard, so you just gotta maneuver and pivot and go with the flow and create when you can. It doesn't hit all the time, but when it hits, it hits. But yeah, it's just an interesting thing to get to be able to be in that position and sit and watch the kids and get to teach. I'm a student always events, but
I get
teaching
that.
is very special, very special.
Agreed. I understand.
Yeah, how did you? I'm curious about you all. Did you all growing up have any music lessons, or did you have a special music teacher that was super influential in your life?
Definitely. Oh yeah.
I think all my music teachers were influential throughout my life.
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in a really small town, so I had one music teacher when I grew up. Oh wait, I had two. So like one during elementary school, and then another during my high school, and then I went off to college, and I had several. So, but one in particular, Mr. Johnson, is the reason I'm a teacher. So my music teacher / art teacher, he started our art program. He was hired only as a music teacher, and then he started like a full-on fine arts program in our school, and I was inspired by him.
That's cool. Yeah, teachers change the world, and they definitely don't get enough credit, and they definitely don't get paid enough. And can we please quit cutting the art funding and all that shit?
Yeah,
dude. Cheers to that. Cheers
Cheers.
to
Here,
that.
I'll cheers my sweet tea.
Aw, sweet tea for the teachers.
Hmm.
Oh man.
And with that said,
I
I
am in
would like
Kentucky.
everybody to know that Musicians Hangout we are dedicated to music, not to underage drinking. So,
Thank you.
and please drink
100%.
responsibly.
Yes, and I talk a lot about that because I've been dealing with recovery myself, and
Right.
all my life I have battled that demon, and I've seen a lot of friends lose their life to battling that demon,
Yeah.
and and stuff like that. So I'm a big proponent on, you know, at one point I had to get my shit together concerning that, and adulthood,
Yeah,
I say, and I kept looking at it like, if I'm teaching all these kids, I want to be a solid role model for them. I don't want them to look at me and think that I'm a
Yeah.
drunk or I'm a druggie or I'm a sex or
yeah,
gambling addict or out here on the streets doing stupid stuff. I wanted them to look up
right.
to me and be like, that one is my favorite because she is badass and taught me, how to rock on drums and walk the walk, not just
Walk the
talk
walk.
the talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Oh yes. Oh yes. You're preaching, girl. Oh my gosh.
Now I'll
Yes.
preach all day, and when
Feel
Nick
it.
Payne
I
comes on
feel
here, he'll preach too. He's straight church. He's straight from the church. And you know what? Lately, y'all, ooh, I found a portal. A friend that had a portal. I'm telling you, we can talk all day about this. Y'all think I'm crazy, but
No.
right now we have the full moon coming into effect. We
Yes.
also have a lunar eclipse that's going to be
Yes.
really
Right.
special, and there is some intense energy in the air. And I have seen a lot of really special wildlife lately. I've seen everything from a snake to a hawk to a owl. Uh, Two woodpeckers woke me up the other day. Native American totem talks about, and I have some Native American blood in me, so I love to pay attention to their teachings and stuff like that.
I
But
do.
they do talk about anytime you see animals that you normally don't see on a daily basis, that they're bringing you some sort of spiritual message from a higher power. And so it's what they call animal totems. So you can look up. I looked up barn owl animal totem the other night. When I saw one, it flew really close to me, and I thought, well, that's really strange. That doesn't usually happen. One time I saw a red fox in my neighborhood twice in two different locations. It was very strange to see in one night in the area I live in. So anyway, I love all that mystical, new agey stuff
Yes.
about
Oh yeah.
or
Yeah.
going back to our
Well, I
ancestors and reading.
study
What is the message they're bringing
animal
me right
totem,
now?
and I agree. I agree with the animal totem spirituality completely. I've studied it myself. I
Yes.
worked for a tribe in our area and very much immersed myself into their teaching so I could, I worked with their youth, so I wanted to have an enriching culture experience for
Mm-hmm.
them in the program. So I, yeah, that seeing that owl was a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and especially I've had one, fly really close to me and just sit on a branch real close and just stared. That's not
Yeah,
normal behavior for an owl. I've seen one in broad daylight. That's also not normal behavior for an
yeah,
owl.
that's not,
Yeah.
yeah, common. That's a rarity.
Yeah, one thing I did learn though about reading that article was that barn owls have a blood curdling scream.
Yeah, they
That
do.
they want to have one of the like ear piercing screams. They love to scream. I love that.
Yeah.
I am part Chippewa Cree.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Very cool,
That
Patricia.
is cool.
My baby,
I
she's a
know.
Chippewa. Oh, she's one of a kind. I think that's
Ooh,
that's
she's a
the
rock and roller.
Indian outlaw. Yeah,
Indian outlaw. Yep. I remember that from the Midwest.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. So haven't been playing too many gigs lately, but the ones that I have played have been really nice gigs.
I
We
was just
played
gonna ask about your gigs. Yes. So last time we
Kentucky
met, you had a
Pride
10 gig.
Festival.
Now you are.
Yeah, I'm at the point in my life where I'm still recovering, and drum set playing is very physical. The loading, the unloading, I have to hire people to do that right now still. to set stuff up.
Oh,
I'm not supposed to be. I'm getting better every day with PT, but lifting is something
yeah,
that is still, I struggle with.
that's
So
understandable.
anything over like 25, 30 pounds, I still struggle with that. And I'm used to being
Mhm.
super, super strong. So I'm getting it back, but it's just a slow process. But
Oh yeah.
I can still play no problem,
Oh, good.
and
Yeah.
the gigs we did play, I thought I did pretty well. I was really worried for a while about, is this going to affect my groove? Is it going to
Really?
affect my timing? Is it going to affect, one nick of that spinal cord could really mess your brain up for life. So, but
Right.
it seems to not have so far,
Good.
so we'll see what happens. I think honestly, playing all the years I have and having a musician brain has helped me in my recovery be
Right.
stronger because I was just trained to be super, the way that the brain is programmed when you're a musician is, it's one of the most powerful things ever is that lights up the brain more than anything else. And I definitely believe in its healing aspect. Music can definitely heal the body, you know.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. My oncologist said, one of the reasons she thought that I was responding so well to treatment was because I was also playing the drums like the whole time.
I
Right.
guarantee it. Yeah.
So she said it releases, endorphins and dopamine and norepinephrine and all sorts of, healing things that your body needs.
hmm
So,
Well, and one thing that I've
that's
seen myself from teaching is teaching the autistic kids that I have. They're some of the most brilliant students I've had, and
Yeah.
I've seen it help in multiple ways. But also, I had a guy with brain cancer there for a long time, an adult who had a lot of short term memory loss in his brain. And the one thing he loved to do was play drums and practice drums. He had this amazing, like, 1950s Ludwig kit in his basement. And it would just make his day if I showed up once a week and taught him, drum patterns and stuff like that.
oh yeah,
And he couldn't remember anything because of the short term memory loss. But I tell you what, he knew jazz drummers like you would not believe. I mean, he educated me on stuff. He taught me more than I taught him. You know what I'm saying? So that was really interesting. But I've seen music, completely alter. It can alter our DNA even.
Oh,
It
yeah.
can change
yeah,
the molecular structure of the body through
Mhm.
vibration. That's why they use the pitchforks on the body, the pitchfork tuning, and
yes.
all that. Gloria, what she's saying? Jen played wickedly, even though she had no feeling in her hands. I still don't have much feeling in my hands. So
Holy shit.
from here to the pinky, I don't have hardly any feeling. Like I can move them, but I can't
But you
feel
can't
that. And
feel
when I put it in my pocket, and sometimes in the morning it'll be like this, and I have to be like,
Oh, I bet. Yeah, and you got to straighten it
uh,
out. Yeah.
and
Huh?
typing. I still can't type, and I love to play rhythm guitar. I actually play guitar and
Really?
piano and clarinet and saxophone. I play a lot of different instruments.
Yeah.
Drums are my forte, and I love piano more than anything. But pressing those keys still, and also holding those strings down, it's the pressure that I
Huh?
need with the pinky. But it's getting better, But still, man, if I had have chosen any other instrument beside the drums, I would have been really screwed, I think, because I still wouldn't be able to play guitar right now or piano.
Right.
I've
Huh.
tried,
Right.
but I can play drums because I can hold this way.
Right.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. So anyway, to answer or to say hi to Gloria or her comment, to speak on her comment, I still can't feel my quads either. But I did read not too long ago about that. So they took the C5, 6, and 7 out of my neck, and they put a metal
Yeah.
cage in to get my brain spinal cord fluid was not flowing to my brain from my body for over 2 years. right? So they don't know how I didn't paralyze myself already in those 2 years. And at one point, I started an all-female music festival with an all-female band, the first one of its kind in Louisville, Kentucky, called She Castle. Yeah, we've had ones here that didn't have an all-female band, that guy band members, but I wanted to start. Me and Bev met playing an all-women's music festival, and I went on to play a lot of those over the years, and really love playing the women's female music circuit.
Yeah.
But as a drummer, I have to attach myself on to someone else, usually like some kind of front artist, that'll pick me up and take me on stage and play these events. So anyway, I wanted to start that for Louisville. So in honor of Beverly McClellan, my best friend who died from The Voice season 1 there, we started She Castle, and it was all female. I put an all female band together, and then we had all female singers of different genres from around our area come and do 4 songs apiece, and they just rotated singers with the same band. Yeah, and it was all females on stage all day. So that, was in honor of Bev. But I played at that event for 9 hours straight with very short breaks with my injury, not knowing I was injured, and still somehow did not paralyze myself fully, being about 5% away from full body paralysis. So we are blessed and thankful, but blessed and grateful.
Very blessed.
To be able to move anything. Also, one of the discs that they took out controls the feeling for the quads. So the tops of my legs, I have trouble feeling. My legs are super strong because I've played drums my whole life, and been a catcher and softball, lots of squats and stuff like that. But also my stomach, I do not feel. Like, it's very strange to not be able to feel your core. I think once I get that back, that throws my balance. So
that will that. Good. Well.
Yeah, I still walk. I feel like I walk like I'm drunk, even though I'm sober. And I feel like people look at me when I walk. And I'm slightly embarrassed, but it's like people look at you and they think you're drunk because you have no balance. And I'm like, no, it's a spinal cord injury, and stuff like that. So anyway, the balance thing is one of the hardest things ever. But I'm making progress every day. And
yes, you are. It's amazing to watch your journey. So inspiring.
Crazy, right?
A miracle. Yeah.
Right? And you know what? I've now networked in all these groups online, and I'm looking at these people with spinal cord injuries that are like quadriplegics and, and just, wow, I am so lucky. I mean, most people that have spinal cord injuries lose complete feeling from here completely down. So you're talking about your reproductive sexual organs. You're talking about your legs, right? You're talking about your stomach. Think about not being able to control those, not being able to know when you have to go to the bathroom because you can't feel it. You know what I mean? Think about that. Not being able to have sex the rest of your life. Think about that. I mean, that's scary. All of it's scary. Yeah. And some of these people that I'm watching are just like, wow. I mean, give it up to them. They're lifting weights and doing things that I can't even fathom doing, just holy crap. The stuff that people have to overachieve it's just mind blowing to me. And I'm just very grateful and thankful that I can still drum for one, my true love. That I'm still here. I can move my arms. I can stand. I can walk. I can do most everything that I used to do. I'm a little bit more cautious these days about. I'm not going to jump on a roller coaster or skateboard much anymore. Or be wild in the country on a razor rolling in a field somewhere, budding like I used to be. I just can't do that crazy. We're more the relaxed, groovy, take it, chill, and easy path these days.
You're more like I'll sit by the pool over here as a virgin daiquiri.
What? You cut out.
Super chill.
That.
So you had a
Sounds like
question in the chat a while back. So I'm
Okay.
going way back in time to Troy.
Mm.
He wanted to
Okay.
know what favorite interviews you have had since you were a radio show host, and
Ooh.
also wants to know what favorite song you've played lately.
Ooh, those are great questions, man.
Oh, I'll leave them up.
Okay, leave them up. Let's see the first one. Singer and talk show host myself. Man, ooh, that's a tough one. You know, I have interviewed some really interesting people over the years. Man, that's going to throw me for a loop. Let me think. I mean, I worked in country radio starting out for years and got to interview a lot of country people, especially classic gold country. And then from
Ooh.
that, I went over into Southern rock at a place called the Big Dog in Campbellsville, Kentucky, 99.9. And dog was spelled DAWG.
Oh god.
And then after, I know, right? Total Kentucky.
DAWT.
Yes. Let me think on that go, man. Oh, I have a good. Okay, I do have it's kind of a downer one, but you'll enjoy it. One of the most interesting interviews I was so excited to land was Cyndi Lauper because I had loved Cyndi Lauper since I was a kid, and I found out that Cyndi Lauper. I was working in radio in Louisville, Kentucky, when she was supposed to come be the Derby. We every year, you know, we have the Kentucky Derby, the famous, you know, 2 minutes in sports or whatever they call it. And so I was really excited she was going to lead the whole parade and all this stuff. And then after the parade, she was supposed to come over to where the media was, and we were supposed to get our interview. So I was all excited, like super pumped. You know, I'm super close to Cyndi Lauper, and I'm going to get to interview her, and I have my little media badge credentials on, you know. And so she goes out on the, if she's watching this, sorry, Cindy, but it happened. We forgive you. But she goes out before she gets to me. I didn't know this at the time, but they hand her the mic, and she's supposed to be singing like True Colors or something, walking down Main Broadway in Louisville, Kentucky. And the mic wasn't on live at where she was. So she goes, effing idiot, right into the microphone, talking about the person who had handed her the microphone, like he didn't turn it on. Well, the microphone was on for live national television. It just wasn't on for the street people. And so everybody at home heard her cuss him. And so the thing, they do the thing, you know, and by the way, I think this was her first year filming her like reality show too, so they were following her.
Oh hilarious. My. Oh
Get her
my.
son with her. So anyway, I don't know anything about this. I'm over here waiting, all excited to get to interview Cyndi Lauper, and you know, over she comes, and I have photo bombs. I'll post later, but I have selfies that I'm like photo bombing Cyndi Lauper. You know, I'm behind her like, hey, you know, and all this stuff. One of my best photo bombs ever is Cyndi Lauper in the background, and the horror on her face because they're telling her what had just happened, that she just dropped the F-bomb on national TV for the Derby children family event, you know, and they're telling her face was all like, you know, and I'm in the background, you know, doing all this stuff. So then she canceled all interviews, and I didn't get my interview. But they ended up telling me, and I ended up meeting a lot of other random weird people that day. It was I met Vicky Gunnival's son, the OG of the OC Housewives or whatever. I met her. Crazy Brooke guy. I met him. I met Biz Marquis once in an elevator in DC. That was interesting. I think we just passed. So. But as far as interviews, that was a downer moment, but I was super excited, and I got the best hilarious photo bombs of Cyndi Lauper, you know, with her and she just dropped the F-bomb on national television in front of everybody.
That is epic.
Let's see. Okay, favorite song I've played lately. Okay, so I haven't played a lot of songs, but I've been teaching a lot of songs. One I will say that's a super crazy challenge that a kid brought to me that I was really excited to learn. I never taught it. Was the intro to "I'm Coming Out" by Diana Ross. By the way, I have her. I don't know if you can see that. That's Diana Ross in the Supremes above my head. See her?
I love Diana Ross.
Yeah. Anyway, "I'm Coming Out." The intro to that is really crazy on drums. It's really syncopated. There is no structure almost at all to it until it kicks in to the "I'm coming dun dun dun," and that groove is also really cool as well. Um, that's a good challenge, but I have a video on my YouTube of me going through reading the music and explaining kind of what's going on with that intro. So that would probably be my guess. I mean, I love all music, so it's hard to say, but probably that one. That answers this question. Both of them.
Yeah.
Good. I love that. Wonder where he's tuning in from. Tell us. Check in on my Nick.
So do you have any plans of doing any shows in the future?
I do. My main goal right now is, and I've always been a workaholic. I like to keep multiple projects going on at one time. I always have, and I like to keep busy. I've never married, no kids at 43, so art. I've invested most of my life into my art, in playing music. Right now, I don't. I really want to retire and bar gigs. To tell you the truth, just because I've been doing that for 30 years, and when you quit drinking, the purpose of bar gigs in a local town, and if you're watching from anywhere and are a musician, then you'll know. But there's a big difference in creating your own music and being a cover band every weekend at a local bar. And the purpose of a cover band is to get people at venues so that they drink, and you keep them dancing, and they're going to drink all night, and they're going to stay all night, and then they're going to spend more money drinking. They're sweating it out on the dance floor. And basically, you are promoting alcohol. That's what you are there to do, right? And you're there to promote that and to try to keep people at the venue, right? So I've been doing that for 30 years at this point in my career, and you got to the point where I don't drink when I play or any of that stuff, and have it for a long time. And I didn't want to promote alcohol to the kids that I teach, because I have had, it's been a detriment to me at some points in my life. I've had a few come to God moments. And I am very thankful to, not be drinking, not need to drink or any of that. So to me, I wanted to be a true artist. I wanted to not, I've done cover bands. I've done cover bands and make great money at it. I love playing cover music. I've played every Fleetwood Mac song you can imagine in my lifetime, from every Jimi Hendrix on blues tour with Kelly Ritchie and Freak Bass to, just there are some songs that are just stuck because I played them for so many years. And
that's awesome.
And I love cover music. I love playing other stuff. But what I truly love is being my own artist and writing my life and putting out albums and producing other artists and audio editing and recording and just all of that. More the creative aspect of it. I would rather sit in a room all day and write 12 songs than go play a bar any day of the week. So at this point in my life, I only want to do big events. I only want to do family-oriented stuff. I only want to do things that involve like Kentucky Beatnik's project or my solo project, pride events, things like that. I'm down to do. But as far as cover band stuff, playing locally around Louisville, Kentucky, that is not my jam anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm retired. If they want to hire me, I'm $2 million a gig. Coming up though, I do have something that's real cool coming up. I'm gonna be the drummer in an upcoming production of Xanadu, which is coming up in April. We're gonna do it. It's the Olivia Newton-John disco roller derby musical, and
Oh my
the one
god,
with
I love it already.
yeah,
Oh,
it's straight up 80s. And guess what? We're gonna do it live at a roller skating rink, and
Yes,
the
you are.
production, and you dress 80s, and then it's free skate after the theater show. So I'm gonna be the drummer
Oh,
and Janice
yes.
coming up. I'm really excited about that one.
Dude,
Oh my goodness.
cheers on that.
Hey, sweet tea.
Yay.
Mhm.
So, can you skate by then? Will you be able to be skating?
Probably. I don't think I can skate. I've never. Yeah, I love to skate, but I've never been great at it. I
I
have
wonder if
friends
you
that
can
skate like
wear
crazy, but I
roller
tell you
skates
what,
and
I
drum at the same time.
what'd she say?
I said, I wonder if you can wear roller skates and drum at the same time.
Wear them, yeah. Skating them, that's a whole different thing. Wear them though, yeah.
Right?
Goodness, that's
You'd
fine.
have to have the toms that you
I'm
march
eating
with.
a chocolate chip cookie because I've got a sweet tooth right
Oh,
now. Mmm. I had
that's
DoorDash bring me
amazing.
stuff before I've been teaching all day, so I've been home.
It's all good. I have a snacky. We're just hanging
Yeah.
out, snacking.
But that lunar eclipse and all that, I was like, I'm just gonna hibernate and stay in. I don't want to deal with anybody in the outside world right now. It's too crazy out there.
Right.
I get it. Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. I felt that way today too. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
A
Right?
lot
There's some
more lately
going
too.
down.
Maybe it's the winter. I don't know.
I saw a snake last night.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. And propped its head right on up and just looked right at me.
What?
I got off my chair and eased right on out of there and was like, I don't want nowhere near a snake.
Oh right.
Mhm.
Okay. No.
I've seen a lot of interesting wildlife lately. I
That's
always
what
think that is also a sign of some intense energy.
lots of
I
intense
see
energy.
snakes daily. I don't know. There's a lot of wildlife where I live.
Yeah. Where are you all again?
I'm in Lake Stevens, Washington.
Okay.
And I'm in
And
Swim,
you,
Washington. So we're oh goodness, I forget. Are we 200 miles apart, Crash?
No, we
wow.
are.
It's less than that. Hold on.
No, we're like 80 miles apart.
Is it only 80?
It's only
Okay.
80.
I think it's longer
Not
because
bad.
of the ferry ride. So you have to ride a ferry or go all the way around.
Yeah,
Wow.
if you go all the way around, it's quite the distance. But
Yes, it
Yeah.
definitely is. Yeah. It just feels longer, I guess. I thought we were
Yeah.
further apart, I guess, but
By
we're
the way,
not
I've been
close. Like
following all y'all's
it's like 4 hours to
social
each
media
other.
and stuff too, and I'm a big fan of all of y'all's stuff. I love the Maxwells. I've been watching all y'all's projects. Been watching
Thanks.
your projects. Everybody's got cool stuff going on.
Yeah, we do.
yeah, we
Fun stuff. Absolutely. Yeah. Musicians Hangout
I
has
love
been
that
doing
you
well.
married a musician. I swore off musicians a long time ago, but I'm gonna have to. I might reconsider that. We'll see.
Well,
The first
yeah.
one was a disaster, girl. It played out on stage with the whole city coming to watch what was going down. Because we went through this very public breakup, and then we were still under contract to play New Year's Eve. We had already signed a contract to play it together in a band, and that incident had split a rift in the group. It
Yeah.
was like this half and that half, and this half didn't agree with that half. Then next thing you know, it's New Year's Eve and the whole place is packed, and they're coming to watch to see how I'm going to react to the ex and me playing together. And it was a hot mess. Oh, and the best part, when you play New Year's Eve gigs at midnight, what do? You play Owen
Kiss.
Gone, and you kiss.
Yep.
So they had
Yeah.
a band, 7-piece all female band, the horns and the whole nine, badass, awesome band at the time. The band made the decisions without us too. It was like, you and your date can go here, and you and your date can go in that room, and then we can do the midnight thing because it was so awkward. It had
Yeah.
just happened.
Wow.
It was wild. It was a pretty tough show, but I remember I
Yeah.
stayed sober that night. I never drank ever
That's good.
on stage, and I played one of my best wipeout solos ever that
Oh,
night.
I love
Up
Wipeout.
until
Oh
that
my
point.
goodness.
Nice.
Yeah, I've
Oh
been
my god.
playing that since I was like 6, so it's kind of like
I
my
played that in
signature
high school.
statement at this point.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Wipeout's such a great one. You got to know
Oh, it's
Wipeout
so
on
fun.
drums.
So fun. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't busted that out in a while now that I think about it. We do so much of our own stuff. But yeah, when I
Mhm.
was in pep band, we played Wipeout. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, man, I
Classic.
loved Pet Band. I loved Pet Band. One of my favorites. We played Hit the Beat Square. I remember that,
What?
and I
I need to
loved
learn that
playing
one. That's pretty
the
fun.
beat. Dun, 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 dun. We had a
That's fun.
really fun pet band. And I used to be the mascot for some of the games. I was the
Oh
the
yes.
Dare County Indian.
Yes. Ah,
So I had this huge Native American head I had to wear, and you could see out the nostrils. And they
oh
would make me
my.
play drums,
With
like
that on?
drum
My
set
God.
with that mask on, and I would be doing. I'll remember Land of a Thousand Dances. Always Land of a Thousand Dances playing in
Oh
that.
yes, you would have to. Yeah. Oh
hmm
my
It was
goodness.
wild, and I was like, I couldn't see nothing. I was just, feeling. You can't see nothing on those.
Oh, oh. So Patricia says Wipeout was her first song played in 1966. Yes. Classic.
Patricia is a badass, y'all. Patricia is a
Yeah,
badass. I love that
badass.
woman.
Sounds like
Patricia, where are
it.
you from? Remind us where are you from. Let's see if she'll type back in and say where she's from.
Yeah, let us know where you're from.
She's been following my social for a long time though, and we met again, just networking with women drummers. Women drummers are taking me across the world. It's crazy. There's so many of us, and we're everywhere,
I know. I didn't
Right.
and we're
realize.
cool as shit.
Yes.
Yeah. And
Yes.
it's so
I
nice
ain't
to
met
connect
one yet
with
that I
other
didn't like.
female drummers.
I love that.
I
Oh yeah, where
agree.
I
Yeah,
was, gosh, in Dickinson, I don't remember many, maybe a handful of us, maybe. In North Dakota, like female drummers.
yeah.
There might have been another one other than me. Maybe. Like in our
Wow.
college, there were not very many female drummers. So when I moved out
Right.
to the Seattle area and met more and definitely, became a member of Drummer Girls United, it was just like so much
Right.
camaraderie, like, yes, people like me, like they
Yeah.
get it. They get
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's wild. I've gone on to, and I actually got to meet Tammy Mitchell Woods, who started Drummer Girls United, down in Nashville.
Oh, nice.
It was September 2019. I went down there, and we met during the premiere of the documentary on gender roles within the female drumming community, produced by Cindy Goldblum. That's called. It was called Beat Keepers, Women with Rhythm. It
Ooh.
features interviews from Todd Shuckerman of Styx, and I cannot remember his name, Junior, the guy of Chicago now. Not Danny, the original one, but the guy drumming now. But anyway, it basically just talks about, it interviews a lot of female drummers, and I happen to be one of them. And also, I got to contribute some of the music to the soundtrack of the Hillbilly Swagger project I did with Beverly McClellan. It took me 2 years to finish that stuff because she died in the process of us making it. So it took me a while. I sustained my injury right before she died, a week before she died.
Oh.
Didn't know it yet, but I knew it was hurt because I knew I got hit in the head and stuff like that. But that's why I didn't really pay that much attention to it because her death happened, and then I lost my bass player of 12 years in my cover bands in town that I had put on those tracks. they died within 6 months of each other unexpectedly. So
Oh
I was dealing with,
man.
Ooh,
yeah,
rough.
I was dealing with their funerals, as well as not paying attention to my own health because I was dealing with the heartbreaking loss of my two best friends, that I played music with for years, and then I'm left with all these tracks to still finish and produce by myself. It took me a couple years to really deal with that.
Oh,
COVID helped with that.
yeah.
Yeah, having the time to
Yeah.
sit by myself in a room and be able to process it and not bawl my eyes out listening to it, at this point.
Yeah. That would
Yeah.
take some time.
It took a
Wow.
lot of time. I feel like the past 6 years have been a lot of therapy for me, whether it be purging out emotional trauma to physical trauma within my body with the metal cage, but also purging a lot of past generational stuff, and whatnot, and trying to get that out and just, what do they call that? The dark side of the soul, or the dark night of the soul. I have been there and visited that a few times, and thank goodness I've come out on the other side of it. Float up, they call it.
Such a journey you have.
I know. My next goal though is to finish the book because I wrote through everything. I even wrote way before I even knew how to record injury through deaths in my family to losing all my friends to you know being out in LA and playing with all these people or being out on the road. I'd write about it, and I've got all these diary journals. Some of them are really deep. I mean, I even write about suicide attempts, things that I faced in the LGBTQ community growing up in Kentucky, and
Oh, yeah.
being so different and people not understanding me and me not understanding me, and then coming to Louisville, and Louisville is not, I always say, gosh, I got a good mix of growing up in nowhere, Kentucky, hillbilly, southern ginger, and then you come to Louisville, Kentucky, and we're the home of Muhammad Ali, and this place will beat you up. It's like it literally is that. I think almost anybody would tell you that, and I write about that a lot in my music too. I always say I keep rolling with the punches in the 502,
Yeah.
because I physically took the punches to the head
Oh, yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
stuff. Because this city will beat you down. So if I can get through that, you know, and everything else I faced, and then the spinal cord injury, I'm like, I can get through anything. I feel like I am divinely protected. I mean, I know I am. I must be.
Right.
There's
yeah.
no other way to describe it. I'm just like, I don't know what I did in my past to be so blessed, but I must have done something right. I've been living right at some point.
Right.
Right.
Karma there. Yeah, you are very,
Yeah.
very blessed.
Yeah, I'm just gonna keep playing drums. I mean, what else
Yeah.
do you
Oh, we
Yeah.
got Nick coming in.
do? Oh, we do? Is he coming in? I didn't know if he's coming or not. Yay!
Oh, we got Nick.
Big fan.
What's happening?
Yeah.
Thanks so much for joining
Oh,
us.
boy.
I'm my brother.
The
Hi,
other
I
half
didn't.
Kentucky
yeah,
Beatniks.
I didn't have much time, but I wanted to
worries.
stop by and say hello. How are y'all?
We're
Doing well.
good. How are
Chocolate
you
cake and
tonight?
chocolate cookies.
It's a crazy
You're
day.
digging
It's a
the lights
crazy
in the
day.
background.
Yeah.
Nick, we were just talking about how it's a lunar eclipse and the full moon tomorrow. It's like energy like
Oh.
overload.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are
That's
those
bad.
rainbow lights in the background?
Are they what?
They're
Rainbow lights.
rainbow lights. Yeah. They're
Nick
They're
is the king of
all-
the lighting.
they're all the colored lights. They're all the colored lights.
They're very pretty.
And yeah, they're just here to bring some joy and mystery. And that's what I'm here for too.
I love it. That's
Joy
great.
and mystery. I love
Need
it.
some joy and mystery. Yes.
Nick, I tell you what, man, I have to tell y'all because it's kind of we were talking about Bev and all that stuff, and
Yes.
Nick shows up in my life. You know, I'd known Nick longer than I knew Bev, but they never met each other.
Oh.
But they both embody a lot of the same spirit, which is really interesting. Me and Nick have a very like childlike energy together. You know what I mean? We like to cause mischief like children, you know, and
I
run
love
around.
it. That's
And
great.
we love to create together, and we're just like brother and sister. You know what I'm saying? Little children
Yep.
spirits, you know, free spirits roaming around playing music together. And I had that with Bev too. And what's funny is like on stage, you know, with Bev, there's certain songs that remind me of her, and one of them in particular is Sinead O'Connor's "Stretched Out on Your Grave." I had never really listened to that much until Bev introduced it to me and made me play it live. And then she passes, and then you know, a couple years later, I meet Nick, and we start our project, and then he's starting to play the same songs that she used to play, that one included, and like they're both bald, they're both gay, they both play the same instrumentation, they both sing from their heart, right from their soul, are totally connected to spirit. You know, it's just like all these similarities that was just like, wow, this is
I
so
have
magical,
marshmallow
you know?
stars shooting out of my sacrum sonically.
Wait, what?
Uh,
Shooting out of your what?
I'm not repeating
Sacred.
that. You'll have to
Oh
rewind
my
it.
goodness. I just think it's great when you have that, like you said, spiritual connection in your band. That adds
Yeah.
Yeah.
a lot of levels to your writing when you have that vibe.
Well, and not only that, but sorry, I chewed my
Oh
cookie.
yeah, no worries. It's okay. Chew
Nick
away.
is connected to, you'll hear us talk about Troubadours of Divine Bliss a lot. He's written a lot of songs for them, and they've been friends for a long time and done open mics together and played music together for a long time. They're very spiritually connected artists in this community and very, very philanthropic. Some of my favorite people, and I know some of Nick's favorite people. But we met through an open mic years ago that they were hosting called Church on the Rocks, and I would go watch Nick play, and I knew him. You know, we probably partied together at some point. I don't know, you know. But then one night I was going into this cafe, and I forgot that he was doing an open mic, and I watched him do a cover of Prince is When Doves Cry, and Nick sings from the heart beautifully, soulfully, you know, true soul, you know. And I do think that's what a lot of great music is all about. It's capturing the emotion, and he could do that, and Bev could do that. They have a special gift. The Troubadours of Divine Bliss are anointed in that sense too. And I wanted to work with Nick because he's just so authentic, singing from the heart, writing from the heart, and not only that, but dude can write a song. You'll hear some stuff. We're about to write some, you know, produce some stuff together that he's written that I think is utterly brilliant. And so,
I can't wait for that.
if you get a chance to go back and
He's like
scroll
taking
through
us for a ride over
catalog,
there.
I'm like a little kid, like she was saying.
I see.
I love it.
Moving the
yeah,
phone
ask
around.
him all the questions while you have him.
Well, y'all, I have some mystical responsibilities that I have to take care of, and I love you all, and I'm so grateful to be here with you for this brief moment and
Thanks
share
for joining
space.
us
And
for the brief moment. We appreciate
thank
it.
you for
Yes,
having me.
thanks for gracing us with your presence.
And yeah, I'll definitely be
Nick, I
checking out
love
the
you, and
rest
I'll
of
be
the show
seeing you
on
soon.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nick cooks for me, y'all. He feeds me.
All right. All right.
And he
Much
teaches
love.
me how to pussy pop on a handstand on a tree and stuff.
Oh, on a tree, on a car. If you need pussy popping on a handstand lessons, I got you. Okay.
Nick is
I
the
will
best.
teach you. I will
He can
teach you
twerk
how to
upside
pop
down.
it on a
He can pop
handstand.
it.
Okay.
Bye, Nick. I love you. Please take care
I
of your
love
mama
y'all.
and say special prayers for her.
I will. Thank
Yes.
you. See y'all soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. What a
I love
sweetheart.
Nick. He's always so
Well, that was
magical.
nice
He
to
just
see him
pops
for that
in.
brief moment.
Yeah, his mother has been really sick, so he's been kind of under obligation to take care of that first and foremost. So he wanted to join us tonight, so
For
I'm glad he made it.
family always comes first.
Understandable. You got to take care of your loved ones first. That's what comes
Yes,
first
Yeah.
over
yes,
everything. Your loved
yes.
ones.
Of course, we are in a duo called the Kentucky Beatnik, um, based here in Louisville, Kentucky. Beatniks. If you don't know what a beatnik is, Google it. You know, beatniks
Yeah.
we're kind of hippie generation. You know, this is for sexual exploration. You know, minor drug use, things like that. They were definitely more open-minded than the most. So
Yeah.
we were fascinated by that, and he had already used that moniker for a while because his name is Nick, and you know, a
Oh yeah.
beat is in for drums and stuff, so it kind of worked out. And we wanted to start a duo because you know most duos are just
I love
guitarists
that.
that get up there and jam out. But we both play drums, so if you come to our set, you know, or you come to see us play, we're always going to have probably a couple of djembe bass solos in there, some real good meditative kind of drum circle type stuff, Zen, you know,
I love
Om
that.
and Zen, that kind of stuff.
Yes.
Nick
Bring it
is
home
studying
in.
Sanskrit, which is like how to raise your vibration through singing and chanting mantras and stuff like that. So he
Yes.
does a lot of that, and over
That's
top of me playing, he also is not scared of tracks, which I love that. So we've done a lot of songs together where we've gone back and we've now taken the tracks and then we played them live over top of the tracks, and they already had our
yes.
background harmony.
Oh, I love
Like
that. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
leave his three-part harmony in the track, and then he sings the main, and it sounds like you got four Nick Paynes and you've only got one, you know. And a lot of artists in Kentucky were scared of that, but when I was out in LA, I was like, you had to know that, or it was like a requirement, or you weren't going to get any gigs. And if you watch anybody like Adele, you know, her drummer's gonna have an electronic drum machine. They might have a real drummer too on acoustic, but they're gonna have sound effects and stuff. And more so than
Yeah.
ever, the drummer's also now the DJ, you know, and the drummer's got sound effects and computer and this and that on this side, and um, you know, and drum machines like I do. I love a drum machine, you know, just for sound effects. If I want hand claps, I
Yeah.
like to have a hand clap handy. If I want an 808 bass sub drop, boom, I want that too. You know, I want scratchy scratchies, wah, 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 and all this stuff.
Mhm.
You know, so anyway, Nick wasn't scared of doing tracks like that, and that's one thing that Bev was taking the leap to do before she
Oh,
passed, and she was really fascinated by that because she didn't know anything about electronics, and so when she met me, she was like, "Holy shit, you're an electronic guru, and you know you're making cricket sounds that you captured in your
uh-huh.
backyard, and da da da, and sampling it and this and da da da, you know." And I kind of
Yeah.
like she was fascinated by it, so she was like, "Ooh, I want to make club music." You know, I grew up in the LGBT clubs, dancing to
Oh,
electronic techno. You
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like when Daft Punk was first coming out, that kind of stuff. The
Ooh,
rave scene years, the '90s, you know,
love it.
and
Yeah.
and she was in the blues market, but I kept telling her, I was like, dude, your crowd is the LGBT kids, like the you know the ones that go to the Pride market. She was rocking those.
Yeah.
In fact, she
Hell
played
yeah.
Seattle's. I think the last year before she passed, if I'm not mistaken, Seattle's Pride. Uh,
Oh,
Nice.
yeah,
what
but anyway, so
awesome.
she started
What an honor.
doing that. And
Yeah.
Nick is the exact same way. Nick is actually incredibly smart with electronics. You know, he has a recording system at his place. I have one at my place. We can write in two different locations. You know, and we both also another thing I love about Nick is he again is very tech savvy. He made our video for we put out a song called "The Revolution Don't Come for Free" under the Kentucky Beatnik last year during the Breonna Taylor incident going on in Louisville, Kentucky.
Right.
Um, Yeah, and it features me on drumming in the middle. It's very Middle Eastern based, very lots of tablas and lots of
Yeah.
Middle Eastern drums, djembe and stuff like that. And Nick does the Sanskrit chanting, healing stuff
Yes.
because our goal was everybody was so upset. It was 2020. It was all gloom and doom, and we just wanted to write a healing track.
Right.
It
Yeah.
wasn't political, and that's what we did. And then he offered to do the video. He had been going to the protest. Of course, I couldn't go to them because I was sick and I could barely walk. And COVID was around. I was having to watch my health like a hog. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be around anybody pretty much. And so he captured all this footage from downtown during the protest and then, used them to make the video. So go check that out. It is on Spotify. You can check that out. And then the music video is up on YouTube. It's called The Revolution Don't Come for Free. And it's a very great message, in it.
It is a very good message. And it was what we needed then. We need it now. I mean,
right.
It's.
Well, that's true artistry, right? I mean, artistry, we're writing what's going on in our lives, and hopefully, there will be some sort of message you get out of that. I'm not I wish Nick was here to speak on that because he's much better at that than I am. I write from a different place. I write from a place of anger almost always, and as a therapy.
I can relate. I do too.
Yeah. Yep. So sometimes some of my stuff comes out sounding angry. It's not really that I was angry at the time. That's how I got it out of my body, and it was either that or shoot something up. So the better option is write the song about it. I'm saying don't kill the people. Write the song. Kill the people in the song. That's okay. Kill them off in the song, right?
Yeah.
There's a reason why Earl's in the trunk. If you know what I'm saying.
Yes. That's a damn good song.
It is, and I love it. You know what, girlfriend? I always say Natalie Maines is my spirit animal, and I'd marry that bitch if she'd ever come at me. Aww. Her cousin is a drummer. If he's watching this, he may not be. Her cousin is a drummer on my Facebook, Tim Maines. He's a fan.
What?
And that's her first cousin or whatever.
Ooh, you are so
very musical family.
That's pretty sweet.
Well, I've gone to see him in concert a couple times, and I'm telling you, she is my spirit animal. I've always had a mouth like hers. And not been. She was more of the rocker of the bunch, and she almost didn't take the job because she wasn't really into country. But her dad was. He's a famous steel guitar player.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Man, you gotta respect.
And by the way, you gotta respect them too because they sold, I forget how many albums. It was like their first 10,000 albums.
Oh hell yeah, they're huge. They're huge. Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen them a few times and I love every single one of them. That is, I would love to get to meet Natalie Maines. So I follow her online. She cracks me up.
I think
She's still posted. Just so you know, I was right. And I'm like, I love her. Yes, you were.
That's awesome.
I think, let's manifest that. I'm gonna meet Natalie Maines. When I meet Natalie Maines, I'm gonna ask her to marry me.
There you go.
You won't even know what hit her.
Maybe the stars will align. Yes.
If you haven't seen her documentary, though, I tell you, that documentary really sent chills up my body to have to go through that as a musician, and to have to stand on the stage and play music after someone has sent you a letter saying we're going to shoot you dead if you get on the stage. Do you make the decision to not get on the stage, or do you do it and trust that it's not going to happen? Give it to God, as I would say.
Gosh.
Can you imagine that?
Mm-mm. But I think we all do that. It's not outright threatened, but my gosh, like our music scene has gotten sketchy. Like we were at a show and I don't know if we were playing the show and someone was stabbed in the crowd, or were we at someone's show? Was that Hard Circus? Did we play with them that show? Someone was stabbed at one of our shows at O'Malley's.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if he was stabbed
or was he trying to stab?
He was trying to stab. He had a knife
out and he was trying to.
Okay, so it wasn't totally stabbed. Okay. Police came because someone was trying to stab someone. That's right. It was weird. And then, what was that festival recently that like 10 people have died so far now because a couple went in critical condition. Like 8 of them died on the site. Like
Travis Scott thing, maybe.
I think
that was another food bar.
Yeah.
I don't know if everybody's too old to understand food bars. If they're beyond all recognition. No, yeah, I agree. And here where I live, I talk very openly and sometimes take a lot of heat because
I bet. Because where you're
the
at.
Highlands, well, the Highlands where I am used to be one of the coolest spots. In 1999 I moved here, and it was one of the grooviest. It's where all the hippies hung out, man. Everybody was, doing art and smoking pot and free love and all this cool stuff. And then you got the druggies that move in. And, I did cover murders in the city for a long time in the news bureau department. And you're not going to find very many murders that are not connected.
Right.
I'll just say that right now.
I bet.
And I don't care what anybody else thinks about a body, but there are some venues around here that have become very sketchy. And I have to question the owners, and I have to question why they allow people like this. And it's when I know for a fact that they know who's living in these venues, and there are people sitting on their front porch ODing, and they're over-serving and stuff. When I see stuff like that, I'm going to call it. I'm going to call a spade because, I've been on the inside of those venues seeing that, and I don't give a shit what anybody says. If I can save one person's life because I spoke out, then I will. And I will never mince my words about it because you're not going to scare me into not talking about how shitty your fucking venue is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There are venues that I refuse to play. There are venues in the Highlands that I refuse to even set foot in because of that fact. And I like to control my money and where it goes in the community, and I will always support my community financially. But there are gay events and gay venues here that I will not spend my money on. I don't want the owners having a piece of my money because I don't think they're going to do the right thing with it. And I say this a lot, and again, take heed. Just because you're gay doesn't make you a good person. All right? What I look for in a good person is, do you have a good soul? Are you trying to make the world a better place? Are you not an asshole doing shady ass shit, drugs on the weekend, and all this shady stuff? You know what I'm saying? Pulling guns on everybody on the weekends. Like, there are things that I, will separate my energy from, and those are things, but I will continue to speak out because I do have a platform. I have a platform.
Yes.
And I'm gonna use that to speak out on what injustices that I. Ironically, Ruth Bader Ginsburg died on my birthday. How crazy is that? I've always been big in justice, truth and justice. You know what I mean? My mom worked in the court systems my whole life. I was raised in judges' chambers, so I was taught you do the right thing. You do the right thing, and when you see the wrong thing being done, speak out. Because if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. You must take a stand for things you believe in. And justice is one of them that I truly believe in. Speaking of which, I wanted to bring this up while we were on the show. I saw a meme. In fact, I'm just going to see if I pull it up on my phone that talked about women in the music industry, and I thought it was really fascinating.
Ooh.
And I thought that maybe I would ask your opinion on it.
Yeah.
And what you all thought, but here it is. It says, this is from Berklee School of Music, by the way, so it's a good, valid story. All right?
Yes.
I'm going to talk about that a lot. Being a news bureau chief, you want your sources to be correct. Okay? All right, so 45% of recently surveyed women said that gender discrimination and sexual harassment are the biggest challenges that they have faced within the music community. That is 45% of women interviewed from the Berklee School of Music say that they have faced gender discrimination and sexual harassment and see those as their biggest challenges in the music industry today.
Yes.
I can see that. Yeah.
We've all dealt with it. We've all dealt with it. I would say so, and Crash and I were interviewed for a documentary this summer, and I spoke to this too, that the music scene in the Pacific Northwest has been much more tolerable for me as a woman than in North Dakota. North Dakota was so hard to work in the music scene because they're so sexist. Like, it might be better now. So no offense to anybody from back home in North Dakota watching tonight, but it was rough. I was not.
Did I tell you my stories about North Dakota and touring through there? I don't know if I did. I didn't. I knew you were from North Dakota.
Yes. So you told me
that
about
was some of the scariest touring I'd ever been a part of. Was North Dakota. I thought I was going to be killed touring North Dakota.
Wow, I did, not surprised because they have some rough ideas, I'll say.
Is it Mulhall, North Dakota?
Yeah, but nobody knows how to play banjos up there.
It's Minot. There was Minot, maybe.
No, we did. We did a curling rink over in Manitoba, and then we came down into Fargo, played Fargo, and then got stuck in a 28-inch snow blizzard in Bismarck. That was fun. I was stranded for 4 days in a hotel with nothing except some protein bars and some horrible coffee.
Yikes! Oh yeah, yikes!
With snow up to my up here. I'd never seen snowbanks like that ever in my life. But after we did that and it cleared up, we took some kind of gig. And I think it was in Mulhall. It was headed toward Billings.
Yeah.
All right, and it was in the country. But I mean, even the cops wouldn't mess with it. They were telling us if we played there that we couldn't leave the venue and cross the street. We might get killed. So in between our sets, and all these people are in there wearing NRA t-shirts, and it's a roller rink, and ain't nobody paying attention to anything we're doing, and we're rocking out in the corner. It was very strange. I would lock myself in the bus and pray to sweet baby Jesus, get me out of this venue, make sure I get here alive. I was making videos going, I'm in Mulhall, North Dakota. If you don't hear from me after this, here's where I am. I was that scared. I was like, North Dakota was a whole different experience, like the Wild Wild West shootout up there, because there are oil fields now,
Oh,
and everybody from Detroit lost their jobs, and they would migrated to North Dakota to work the oil field.
Yep. Oh yeah.
Wild Wild West shootout.
Yep.
Yeah. That's what I've been dealing with on tour.
I believe it, and
in North Dakota.
And that's how I felt. I didn't feel like I was gonna get shot all the time, but I felt like I was gonna get assaulted. I was told by men that I couldn't share their kit because I was a woman. I was not allowed to play drummers' kits.
Where they at today?
Right? They're nowhere.
I would love for somebody to say that to me.
That's where
they're in North Dakota.
They're not doing what I do. They're not in the Seattle scene. They're not on Musicians Hangout. They're
They're in that trailer band house that I had to go in that had no seats on a piece of plywood up on some cinder blocks.
Yep.
That's where they are.
That's where they are. Yep.
Chain smoking, watching cops at the front.
Well, yeah, I dealt with that, 20 years? No, ago-ish, 18, 20 years ago in the music scene there. And then I moved out here 13 years ago, and it's been better. I've got to say that the Pacific Northwest, it's still there. Don't get me wrong. There's still sexism. There's still, that assault. There's still, being judged for our gender, but it's a lot less. And the men in this music community are very, very supportive of us, hugely supportive of us.
Yeah.
A lot of our fans are men. So shout out to the dudes who support us, because my God, it's a hard industry for women. It is.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. It's weird too here in Louisville. I was thinking about, I don't think I've ever been super discriminated against totally here in Louisville by more. I mean, in a drummer sense, I've always been supportive for them. Now, I've had a few moments where I had some weirdos do some weird shit, you know.
I'm sure.
I've been attacked online many a times, you know, and I've also have people, you know, take my picture and put it on their band poster, and it looked like I was throwing up grilled cheese and sandwiches, and you know, just like weird stuff. It's like, what the hell is that? And
The
then
hell?
people coming at me being like, you know, you're not a drummer. Somebody the other day called me a poser. I thought that was funny.
Oh my god.
I said
Ooh.
posing right beside Sheila E. That's what I said. And sent the picture of me hugged up against Sheila E. No, I just write about those kind of people. But
Hey,
you know,
yeah,
fuck you,
right?
bro.
Yeah, I should write about those people, you know, like pretty good for a girl, you know, like hearing that shit.
right, yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
I just need to write.
All of the blood, sweat, and tears that I've put into my passion to be, you know, backhanded compliment like that. Ouch.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I
whatever.
usually you know, nowadays in my older age, in
You're
my
pretty
40s, I
good for a
definitely
dude.
I mean, I think I can scare off some people, you know, with some things.
Yeah.
When they come at me, I go right back at them. They don't expect that, you know. And
Right.
I'm like, oh, I'm a hillbilly Southern redheaded ginger. Come on now, from
You go
Kentucky. Like we don't play. We don't
Well,
play.
drummer
Louisville don't
chicks,
scare
don't
me.
mess
You
with
know what I'm
drummer
saying?
chicks. We're very strong. Like, no, you don't mess with
Heck
the
yeah.
drummer. Bad choice.
No, 100%. Yeah, we beat things for a living. Come on.
Yeah, and we enjoy it. So don't tempt us.
100%. I love to beat some shit up. That's right. It's good therapy. It's good
Dude,
therapy.
you should see us with a pair of nunchucks.
Drum chucks. One of my kids wanted to invent those. Drum chucks with drumsticks on them.
Now that.
I think kids
Sticks on
might be on.
chains.
Oh yeah.
They
Oh
might
yeah.
be on to something.
Uh-huh. We better
Like
patent that shit.
sweet. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I'm a big fan of the martial arts. Of course, I grew up playing. My dad was a Shaolin. You know, he was into Shaolin, did Tai Chi. Bruce Lee was his hero. So my dad was the outlaw cooking up and taking names with the whole group. You know, I was telling my friend the other day, we used to do these really things. This sticks out. I want to write about this in my book, but it sticks out more than anything. We were kids. We'd do these martial art in the dark at night, like scavenger hunts, where they'd split us up into two teams, and we'd be in camouflage, and you'd be out in the country. And the key was to catch the other team first before they caught you. So you had to be real quiet moving in the woods, which you have to monitor your breath. Lots of things you have to learn to do in the woods at night. Try not to get caught.
Right.
But all that training really helped me, self-defense techniques and stuff like that, as I got older, you know. And I'm very thankful, but my dad was very, you know, adamant that we took self-defense classes and that we were in Shaolin martial arts and knew how to defend ourselves and fight when we needed to. He said, never start a fight, finish when stop. That was our motto.
There you go. My dad was big on self-defense. He was a police officer, though, so. But, I mean, I have his billy club, so I can kick the crap out of somebody with that billy club.
I love it.
I have.
Hey, you know, it's always good for women to know how to defend themselves. And as sad as that is, if I had a young girl, you know, daughter or something like that, I would definitely want, in this world that I have been out in and seen so much horrible things in, you know, I would want her to be able to defend.
Yeah. I taught my kids how to defend themselves. They taught each other how to fight because, you know, sisters, they fight. So I had to teach them how to, you know, defend themselves in case, you know, any kind of weirdos. There's weirdos in this world. I want to make sure my girls are safe. And, you know, none of this shit. I don't want them to experience some of the shit I've had to experience in my life.
Right. Same. Yeah. I never wish my worst enemy on this injury right here. That's been probably the biggest challenge I've ever had to face, for sure.
I can imagine.
Yeah. It's so crazy. It's just been a big blur. It's been a big blur,
Right,
and I'm glad
but
it's.
you're on the recovery side now.
I am.
So
I'm a
that's
full,
the
almost
big
a year into that recovery.
yeah.
They finally
So
got
if
my
you think
meds.
about where you were a year ago to where you're at now, like
You know
you've
what?
gone bounds, leaps and
Gonna
bounds.
say a year ago today. You just said think about where I was a year ago today.
Oh,
I was
right.
terrified, but not letting anyone know it because I only told one person that I was injured
What?
until I almost had to go into surgery. I knew I was hurt and I was terrified and you know was dealing with life and I didn't want to tell my parents. I didn't know how injured I was. I didn't know how, but I knew that I couldn't walk. I knew it was that bad. And I knew I was losing feeling in my body and I was falling. And I only told about one or two people tops last year in 2020 until it became apparent that
Damn.
I was walking on a cane, and I was out and about. And then COVID happened and, the shutdown happened and I had to seclude. But
Yeah.
I couldn't get up steps. I didn't tell my parents that until later in 2020 when I go see the first surgeon and he used the Christopher Reeve. So my mom was sitting there with me. I bawled my eyes. That was about a year ago to that, this
Oh,
week.
what?
About a year ago, I was terrified and they're telling me that I'm going to have to sign a will, and I was like, what do you mean sign a will? Well, last will
Yeah.
and testament. That's crazy. Oh, yeah, we got to remind you, this may also not work and we could paralyze you if you go under, but you got to sign all these rights away. I was just like, well, I had no choice. And I just had to keep brave and put on a brave face and
And
just
you
power
did.
through it.
You
Yeah.
really did.
Yeah. And then I
Yeah.
had to announce it to everybody. Oh, yeah. Hey. And that was a whole different animal. I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm having a
So
life-changing
quick.
surgery tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Goodness.
Yeah. Life changing moments. I call them come to God moments. I mean, that
Yeah.
was a huge one in my life, and it will always be a big milestone. 12
Yeah.
2 2020,
So much
Yeah.
redemption for you, like, wow.
You know what I want to happen? I want that book to be a bestseller. I really do. And I could see myself going on interviews with like Kelly Clarkson and Drew Barrymore and being like, ooh, this shit I had to live through is crazy. You're not gonna believe this.
Oh my
know.
gosh. I hope it does become a bestseller. It's going to be a very interesting book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean I have writings from when I was a kid, so it goes from writings from when I was a kid all the way through all my experiences maturing, up until, the Bev years. She gets a whole chapter. All the women I dated, they get a whole chapter and how shitty I got treated during a lot of those years,
Ooh.
it's got some tea in there.
So question, did you have to change names or get permission or
I haven't.
like
I use real names.
That's awesome.
Know what my theory is? If they didn't want me to write about them, they should have treated me better.
Booyah, baby. Yeah.
And if I don't use last names, then nobody knows who it is. You can get away with a lot of stuff legally,
Gotcha.
creatively.
Good to know. Good
Now,
to know.
here's something really interesting is that most of the women I've dated that broke my heart get a song, a diss track, almost always. And I call them by their diss track name, like Bougie is Bougie, and then we got Plastic over here.
I've heard you do that online. I've seen that. Yeah. I love that.
That was one of the first ones that started the diss track, and there's a lot more to come, but that one was really a heartbreak. That was a breakup via text on the day of the solar eclipse that you had to have the special glasses for.
What?
I had just been out. She was in the Army, and I had just been out to El Paso, Fort Bliss, and played Army Housewife. Now that is not a role that Jen Yates usually plays. I was like, I wasn't around anybody creative. I wasn't around anybody with drums. I was on an army base hearing about us bombing Syria and stuff like that, going la 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 la. Where am I? Right.
Right.
So
Right.
I flew back home, and then eventually she flew back, and we look at houses. I knew her kids. I taught music to her kids, and then she gets on a plane, and I get a breakup.
Shit.
While I'm on a boat on the Ohio River having the time of my life with my best friend.
Oh.
And I look back at those pictures, and I'm trying to smile, but I know I didn't tell anybody that day. I didn't tell anybody for a while that I had, I had to deal with that. But I was heartbroken. And so now what I did was I took all of my heartbreak and I wrote it into a song called Bougie. And
I
then
know
I
the
produced
song
the
Bougie.
video. Yeah, and then now I look back and I'm not heartbroken anymore. That was in 2017. So let's see, it's been a while, right?
Yeah.
It's been like 5 years now. But yeah, she's since moved back to the Highlands where I am and brought her new wife, who is her army buddy, back to this area. I have yet to run into her, but just saying, that's where we're really close from what I understand. But either way, wish her well. God bless her. God did me a favor. You know what I'm saying? But I look back and I was like, after all that heartbreak, I got a video that now makes me crack.
Yeah, right. Well,
so
that's
I don't know how I did it, but somehow I took sad emotion, wrote the anger out, and now I look back at it and it makes me laugh. It's a whole different experience, So to me, that's why I do the diss tracks, as I get the anger out. That's how I channel it. That's how I purge it out of my system. And then years later, I can look back and go, oh yeah, that's funny. At least I got that out of it.
Right.
Yeah. How wild, right? Music is so interesting, so magical.
It is. Oh, totally agree.
Mm-hmm. That one starts the solo record, Bougie, and then it goes through basically from that point on my whole day for the next 6 years, which has all been. But I feel like also when you're an artist and you're a songwriter, and not everybody's the same type of songwriter. I'm so different than a lot of other people in the way that I do things. But when you're a true songwriter, let's say like a Nick Cave, I'm just using it, or Robert Smith, they had to go through the experiences they did to write about the experiences through their art.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like any true artist really is usually incredibly emotionally, vulnerable, and I wear my heart on my sleeve. I get my heart broken a lot, and I try to, wish for the best and whatever. And just because you play drums and are, known does not mean you can still land a date that's worthy of like what you get people coming at you for the wrong reasons a lot of times.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like that.
Oh yes.
All the time. And I'm just like, I can now see it in their eye. I can see the twinkle in their eye when they're starstruck and coming up to me, be like, like it's just this weird look. It's a look that they have when they're just like in the presence of someone who has really awesome talent, And it's really not even talent. It's just practiced a lot my whole life and played stuff, my whole life. It really isn't anything super special, but I can definitely tell people have that gleam. They have this different look in their eye when they come at you for that reason.
It's not something I'm even used to when I experience that. It's
airy too. So
it's very eerie, but it feels good too. Like it's like, wow, I'm someone to somebody. That's cool. Like they're excited when we're not on the screen, especially when we're together somewhere, because we're not usually together. So they get pretty excited.
I can see that. Yeah. And I tell you what, I love to meet people that are, are geeking out and stuff like that too. I love to give them drumsticks. I'm a present giver. I love to give things to people. And that's something I love, is when, especially like this little kid, I just did this church gig the other day, and this kid kept gravitating toward me and was
Oh,
just like, wow, you play the drums so good, and they said, what are your pronouns? And I thought, it was interesting getting it from a kid.
oh,
And
right.
I said, I'm a born female, but I've always thought it was a boy in a girl's body, and it's kind of complicated. I don't care what you call me. Call me Jen Yates. That's who I am. And he, she, it doesn't matter. And they said, I like that. That's interesting. And then they said, I'm playing in the orchestra with you. And I was like, you are? I was like, how old are you? This kid was like 11.
Dang. That's great.
I had never been playing clarinet in the orchestra in church. And I said, well, that's amazing. I didn't get to play in the orchestra until I was like 30, and one night. The kid's name was Gordon. So I said back to Gordon, I said, well, what are your pronouns? They said he, him. Like, all right, cool, Gordon. And then, when I showed up to play on that Sunday, the gig, the actual gig, that was the rehearsal, then Gordon was again a magnet to me, so cute. In the little suit and tie. And I was like, oh my God, reminded me of myself when I was that age. And how amazing that church is letting 10-year-olds play in their orchestra. That's amazing. So crazy to me. But adorable. And, that to me, those experiences make it worthwhile. That's why I play.
Oh, absolutely.
Adult experiences that come up to you and talk to you, and they're just amazing.
Yeah.
And Gordon made me write down my name spelling, so when we were outside of church, they could look me up on YouTube. And I'll never forget the first time a kid of mine started singing my own song there that they had seen on YouTube, and that was the moment that I was like, wow, what I'm really doing could be influential, right? I didn't really realize I'm writing just to purge stuff out.
Oh yeah, you are very influential.
And then I've got this kid over here that's like, Miss Jen, I just watched your YouTube video on Poochie, and they're singing it to me, and I'm just like, whoa, when I wrote that, I didn't think a 10-year-old would be listening to it,
Yeah, you don't think
whole
that.
different,
Right.
Yeah, it's so interesting, but it gave me a different perspective on writing for sure.
Oh, I bet.
But I don't like to, when I write, I don't like to put any kind of like box, or what's the word I'm looking for? I don't like to think about, am I going to offend this person I'm writing with? I try to, I don't care what they think, and I try to put that out of my mind. Would Eminem give a shit what Christina Aguilera thinks when he dropped her name in the song?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Not at all. Not for a minute.
Right.
He would give zero fucks about that.
Well,
right, exactly.
To touch on that, you said I didn't think a 10-year-old would listen to that, but think of the things we were singing along with when we were 10. Like,
oh girl, if it had exclusive lyrics, that's when it came out. It was when I was growing up that you had to put the exclusive lyrics. And of course, hip hop was coming out, and DJ Quick was coming out. The first records I had, I got my car with Little Ken, and I don't want to eat my right. I was rocking around the country, saying it all. I love the cuss word. You know what I'm saying? Tupac was out.
Yeah. When my kids were little, Eminem was still coming out. He was with D12, and then he was doing, his Eminem thing. And we were listening to Eminem one day after I picked up my children from school. And they're in grade school, mind you. Like second, third grade. And my daughter, Haley, she's like, Mom, why do those girls want to suck his chicken? And I was just like, oh.
Yeah. Oh, different world.
Yeah, how do I explain that?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But and they said it so innocently. And I was just like, I really have to think about what my children listen to from now on, because they're really picking up on it more than I think they would.
They do. Yeah, they definitely do. But I remember singing along to songs and listening to songs and not knowing anything about it, but just belting my heart out to it, and just loving it for what it was. Just the beat, just the lyrics fitting music so well.
I learned what a condom was on the cover of, the Humpty Dance.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Digital Underground, the blue condom.
Yeah.
On Snoop Dogg, Doggy Style. I was like, ooh.
What's that?
Oh, yeah.
I was all
I
about
keep
all
forgetting
that.
you're so young.
I know. I'm 43.
Well, I'm 48, though. Oh, well, actually, Maxine's the youngest.
I'm
You're the
118.
youngest.
What are you talking about?
108.
Old, right.
What I tell the kids. I'm a vampire.
Vampire years. Not
You got to
human
thank some
years.
emoji. I'm a big fan of y'all's emojis.
Oh, thank you. I love your
No,
too. You got one too. Looks just like you. I love that.
I got to change my emoji though.
Oh yeah, because you have the dark.
Because I have black and purple hair now.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We both have our hair done now. It's all pretty.
Actually,
I think it's funny we have the same hairstyle tonight.
Today.
You did? Oh, so pretty and bright.
Ooh.
You see the back of it?
Oh, that's
it's all fresh and shaven.
Oh, la la.
Got your nice lines. Ooh. That's
all the little
fresh.
designs and stuff. I had to put the lines.
Yeah, that looks nice.
My hair, I just got out of the shower, so that's why it's a hot minute straight. I still have we've been doing the undercuts in a different color.
Oh, I like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's nice.
It's like unicorns. It's like purple to blue to white.
Ooh.
I love
but
that.
I always have her cut designs and stuff in the back of my hair.
She does a great job.
Yeah.
And when I put it down, it's super long. And then you get.
I know you say that every time.
I love it.
Like, my hair down is super long.
Very long. It's to my waist now, and I can't believe it because I haven't grown.
Mine's getting there. Mine's pretty long too.
It is.
Like, it's pretty long.
Sure, yeah.
Pretty.
I've been wearing the hat and the.
Gotta love the hat. The hat is so great. The hat's so great. Right away.
Nick is really good at picking stuff.
Wait, Nick picked that for you?
Yeah, he gave it to me for my birthday in September. Wow. He bought me this.
I love it.
I love it.
Present from him.
You know what you need? You need a zoot suit to go with it.
100%. 100%. I could see me in a zoot suit. I could do it. I could pull that.
Yes, you need one of those high-waisted pinstripe zoot
that needs to
suits
be a music video right
with
there.
like with the pocket watch and maybe a monocle.
Here's my note.
Get
I
the
gotta
note.
write that down.
What's happening? This is your homework, Jen.
I was always a good student.
Monocle. You need the monocle.
I need the monocle.
And one of those pocket watches.
Absolutely.
You can swing the watch around with your monocle.
Well, and what better time to bring it back, 2020s. I mean, we are the roaring 20s again, really. I mean, we got some crazy shit happening. My goodness.
Ooh. Woo. And wingtips. You need wingtip shoes.
Ooh, getting super fancy.
I like the way you think.
Well,
she's got good ideas.
You can't have a zoot suit without wingtips. That's just how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I
agree. I like when Jay Perry. Really interesting.
I always picture that wolf from Tom and Jerry, the one that's always after the girl cat, and he's like, oh, God, his eyes are always popping out in his jaw.
Yes, in the zoot suit, yes.
Wolf that I'm talking about, and he's in a zoot suit.
He's in a zoot suit, that's right.
Definitely.
That's
Oh my
that's
goodness.
the guy I always think about is him.
Classic.
Yeah, that is classic. I forgot all about him. Thanks for the reminder.
Oh yeah. Tattoo
You are very welcome.
is coyote or wolf. Sorry.
Brownie.
Wally Cody? No, what'd you say?
Oh,
Who
I
was it?
don't know the character's name. It was a wolf though, right?
Yeah,
Craft.
yeah.
I said
Yeah, I
matching.
can't remember his name, but he was friends with 88 Fingers Louie, who was the cat who played the piano.
Oh my gosh, you have a great memory, friend.
Yes, he does.
I can picture
Well,
them in my mind,
it's
but I don't know names.
it's because I know 88 Fingers Louie because there's a punk band called 88 Fingers Louie named
Oh,
after
well, that's
that
a great
cat.
name. Ah, badass name for a punk
And
band. Yes.
88 keys. I mean, a piano has 88 flat keys.
Right.
Or 88 keys, and I don't know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's just 88 keys in general.
Mhm.
So and yeah, his name was Louie.
We've got
Finger
his
Louie.
name. Slick
Wow.
Wolf. Slick Wolf.
Slick Wolf.
Slick Wolf.
Thanks,
Slick.
Troy.
That's right.
You got us fact checking here. Thank you.
That's
I
really
love him.
that's
Who
really
is he? I love
fitting
him.
for the wolf. You know what I mean? It's pretty
Mhm.
fitting.
It is very fitting.
Totally. Slick Wolf. What a great name. I
Yeah.
love him.
Jen, we're coming up
Except
on a
instead of
little.
wingtips, he had like these weird like cuffs.
Oh yeah,
Where,
Right.
that's
I
right.
love
you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
absolutely. So we're coming up
Dun,
on
dun,
we have 15 minutes left, and I always like to ask our guests what advice you want to give other musicians.
Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I think to be authentic, it took me a long time to understand, like, the music world is so vast. There's so many different facets of it, right? But if you want to be a true artist, I think you have to be completely authentic and real. You can't be a copycat of anything else. You have to be who you were born to be, and
Agreed.
the truth will set you free. The truth will set you
But
free.
here's the thing. Here's the thing about that, and I love your voice, or your advice, not your voice, but I do love your voice.
I love your voice.
Thank you.
But everything you hear on mainstream radio,
Mhm.
oh,
Is not
sounds
authentic.
identical.
Well, that's because of sales. Like that,
Yeah.
the music. I love to say this too.
That's true.
There's a big difference between the music and the music business.
Yeah,
A whole
that's
different,
a
a whole
lot.
different world.
There you go.
As an
Yeah.
artist, I do believe you have to be authentic to be a true artist. Doesn't mean you're gonna be famous. You know what I mean? That's slim and slim to none.
Oh
But
yeah.
mainstream radio, because I did work in radio a long time, I do understand the business of radio is, and honestly, it's going down. It's been going downhill for years. That's why I left radio. There's no money in radio. Why? Because
No.
everybody's got a podcast. Everybody's online. Everybody can listen to this. Everybody can do that. Who
The world
listens to
is
their car
evolving.
radio?
Technology is evolving.
Right.
You know.
But what does sell is they keep that around. They sell airspace, and they are told by the FCC that, if this artist like Dua Lipa is a number one artist right now, then, FCC requirements are saying you have to spend her 12 times an hour, and it's controlled by the corporations like that. And then they sell the commercials in between, and that literally is the only money they make off of radio anymore. Commercials.
Right.
Are you gonna buy a 30-second commercial for thousands of dollars on a local radio station in your hometown to promote?
No.
What are you gonna do today? You're going online.
Yeah.
That's why radio's gone dead.
Online,
Oh yeah, we watched
Staying
the demise.
online. That's what I'm doing.
Yes, staying online. And COVID actually really paved a lot of the new technology that comes with streaming. You know, when we first went live with our concert series, compression was very hard to work with, and now the platforms have really worked with the compression needs of artists to make our sound better when we are live. So you know, it's sort of been a silver lining per se.
So, so when a drummer hits their cymbals, it doesn't wash everything out, or the only thing you can hear is the snare.
Yeah, and we've experienced that. You know, before
it's
they
also
were
almost called a gate. It's called a gate in effects world for editing.
Yes.
Gate that you put over, you know, the hertz of the instrument, that puts a little gate around it, so that if it goes above that distortion level,
noise gate.
It's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we need a noise gate.
The idea of compression, though, is to take. Well, I read waveform, I like to say, because I worked in radio and audio editing for so long, you know, production. But when you have a waveform, you know, like you say, like you're looking at it and you got levels at unity or whatever, compression is just going to be taking that and compressing it down so that later on they can boost the volume levels of it to be more in our face.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't understand the idea behind compression, and everything is overly compressed these days for sure.
Oh, it really is. Oh, goodness.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Jen, you just gave me a fucking amazing idea.
Ooh, I love that.
Now, when we have people run their shit to do an electric live performance, we need to have them run it through a noise gate.
Yeah. Or a leveler. You know, and they also
already
do. That's why
my god, Jen, you are a fucking genius. You just solved the problem right there.
I'm really good at production. Audio is my thing. I'm an audio guru, you know. There's probably not any problem.
Through a noise gate. Oh my god, that'll solve all your problems right there.
Yeah, what are the problems y'all been facing on that?
Sorry, my computer's
you know, when drums are playing, all you can hear are cymbals and snare, because the guitars are so loud that it just cuts everything out.
Yeah.
Watches it out, yeah.
The mics can't handle it. But if you run everything through a noise gate,
or have them turned down.
I want to say that different.
Even when they turn down, it's so loud, it just eats right through it naturally. Like even just having their amps running in the room, it's too much almost.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But if you run everything, through the board and then run it through a noise gate, you should be good to go.
Should be, yeah.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that some bands already have that figured out, and that's why they sound so crystal clear. Also, different devices sound better. I've noticed that laptops definitely are in your favor versus a phone. You know, some phones are really good, but if you have someone,
we've also had bands try their own microphones to record us, like recording microphones.
From my years of experience,
they have someone like a friend or a family member holding the phone. Sometimes they cover it, and we can't tell them. It's so muffled because they're covering the speaker while they're holding it and recording, and that's been a challenge too.
That's interesting, yeah.
And a tripod would help with that.
Yeah, I've dealt with all kinds of audio problems, and a great sound person will make you a radio.
Yeah, it's
the sad thing is that everybody today, because they have a home studio, thinks they know everything about audio. But man, I've studied for 30 years, and I still don't know half the shit there is to know about it. You know,
there's so much.
I can get you in certain hertz ranges and stuff like that. And I mean, I have gone to radio production school and graduated, so like I've studied under great editors and stuff like that. But there's still people that know a lot more, and there are people that can get up there and tell you what hurts they're hearing, and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's a very complex,
sound
and
is
not only that, mixing, recording, those are all completely different platforms. Mastering is a whole different animal too. You can't just know about all that stuff.
you
And
can't
just
have the person who is listening to your album over and over and over and over. You can't have them master your album. You need a whole another fresh set of ears who have never heard your album before, ever
yeah,
fucking
oh,
ever.
it's one of
You need them to take a listen and
and all it takes
master
is
shit.
one thing to be off in that mastering or mixing. The time, I do mine separate. I record everything first,
Right.
and then I go back and have a completely separate mixing, and sometimes I'll mix for months and go back and listen.
Oh man,
I'll throw it away for a month and then go back.
I think
And
my last album had
I'm
like
always
7
editing.
mixing sessions.
Yeah. And then, but all it takes is one thing to be wrong during that process, and it could really screw your entire recording up if you don't know what you're doing concerning EQs and mastering and stuff like that. So it is a fine, it's a fine art in itself. And not only that, you got to remember, people who went to college and studied this every day of their, there are people who know this stuff in and out.
Yeah,
don't just
the
get
guy,
from the pros.
the guy who, well, he mixed our stuff and he recorded our stuff, tracked everything, he even played bass on some stuff, played some guitar on some tracks. Like he put above and beyond on this album. And it is such a great album. I'm really proud of the album, but I know that it wouldn't be the album that it is if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Really does take a village.
That talent,
he went to school for this. He's been keeps building his studio. He's like, I've been doing this for like decades. And my studio will never be done. I will always keep adding stuff because there's always going to be new shit coming out.
I feel him. I'm kind of a tech geek in that sense, and I had a drum recording studio for a long time. My goal in life right now is to buy property and build a treehouse recording studio somewhere in Kentucky that people can come visit and crash and record.
Oh, we're going. Yes.
I might have to Wanda underneath her.
We got to come for the ribbon cutting ceremony.
We're going to help build this treehouse.
Hell yes.
Studio.
We built this treehouse.
Out there in these are the things we built. This town.
This treehouse.
Yeah, Jen's treehouse.
Oh my goodness, that's such a
dude,
cool
it's been
project.
a blast being on y'all's show again. I just want to remind everybody that I teach drum lessons. They can check it out online, generationstudios.com.
And you know what? Hold on. I have something, and we just have to wait till I get up to the comments on this.
We can post
I have
it.
something.
Something.
I'm getting there. I'm almost there.
Yeah, there's a lot of comments tonight. There we go.
GenerationStudios.com.
I told you I
Check
had
me
it.
out. I got Jen Yates on every social media platform.
I admire that too, because that's a labor of love right there. All the social media. Oh my goodness, it is a lot of work.
I'm like, can some girl marry me so she can take over my management position?
Right?
I need help.
You'll find
Maybe
her.
you
She's
find
out
a
there.
girl to take over and then
I've
marry
already
her.
found her. I think
Maybe
I've already
she's
found
out here.
her. I'm just waiting on her to come on.
Ooh,
Maybe you need to come out to Seattle so you can meet her. I bet she's out here somewhere.
Oh, you missed what I said. I said I think I've already met her.
Oh, I did.
I heard what
I'm
you said.
waiting on stuff to go down, so just stay tuned.
Oh.
See, I heard that.
I'm excited. Yes.
I'll invite you to the wedding.
No, please do. You know?
Oh, I want to be the flower girl.
Anything you want.
Anything you
All right,
need.
ladies.
You got it.
Boom, boom. Anything at all.
Oh,
You got
Jen,
it. Boom,
it was
boom.
such a glorious night
Hey,
with
Glorious, y'all.
yeah.
you.
I love being on y'all show, and thank y'all so much. And one day I'm coming to visit y'all.
Oh
up in
yeah,
Washington.
Oh,
we're gonna meet up.
we cannot wait for that.
It will happen.
We're gonna play
All
drums.
right. Oh my
Thank-
goodness, what a
Hey,
wonderful
Maxine, you want to take us out?
Absolutely.
Wait. Rock on, man.
Rock on, everybody. See you next week for our music video montage Thanksgiving 2021. Tune in. Love you
Yeah.
guys. Keep watching. Keep
Night.
following.
See you next week.
Bye.